So I'm going to talk about the undercover operations in drug enforcement and basically how police and federal agents go undercover to catch drug dealers and traffickers. So what really is an undercover operation? An undercover operation is when cops pretend to be someone else, like a drug buyer or dealer. Now, they do this to get close to criminals and gather real evidence. They might hang out with the drug crews to make fake deals or even help move the money. But it's all really in deal to catch the drug dealers red handed. Now, one type is called a controlled buy. That is where an undercover officer goes and buys drugs while being watched over by cops that are nearby. Another one is a reverse sting. Sorry, my dog was being weird. Is a reverse sting. Now, that's where cops like to act like the drug dealer instead of being the one that buys the drugs. That way, if they act as the drug dealer and someone comes and buys the drugs, boom, they have them like that. Now, how it's set up. Really, how it's set up is really according to the DEA and the Justice Department. Many of these operations are super controlled. They have to be. Agents have to follow strict rules, especially if they're working on big money stuff like laundering or being involved in fake businesses. There's something called an attorney general exempt. Now, okay, sorry, I got little note cards. Attorney general exempt operation. Now, basically, that means the undercover ops that are involved are involved in the money may have special approval. But even with all the rules, the government has found problems. The DOJ has audited that the DEA and they found some undercover ops that didn't keep the best records and followed procedure. That means that yes, they were helpful, but they need to be watched carefully just in case it was not just an accident. There could be some play involved. It could be fishy. It really just depends. So that's why they have to be watched more carefully. Now, some real examples could be that there are some wild cases that the DEA recently did undercover. I found an example online that wasn't in the textbook where in Massachusetts, a guy was trying to buy 15 kilos of cocaine for $150,000. So that's crazy. I also found another one in Texas that helped down a meth operation that was also tied to a sex offender. That's great. We love that. No, we don't. The undercover agents even infiltrated a major drug ring that was also done in New York. I don't know why people think they can get away with things like this. I guess they think they won't be caught. We have undercover operations. That's why we need to catch them. I also read an article on why people think they can get away with what they do. They think they can outsmart the government, and in reality they can't. But moving on now. Let's see. Did that one. Pros and cons. The good thing about the undercover work is that it helps get police to the access they need to get the drug traffickers and catch them in the act. It's one of the best ways. But the downside is it can be very risky. People can get hurt, whether the good side or the bad side. A lot of people can get hurt, and that can affect a family, but it also can screw up a case. We don't want anybody hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. Now, with that, the teaming and training that it takes for it is that they have to do really serious training undercover work. They need to learn how to be safe. They need to blend in, write reports, and they have to testify in court, which is also very risky for undercovers, because if somebody was there from a different undercover case and they get matched, it's not safe. But with those downsides of, it not being safe, undercovers really do help. They get a lot of bad people off the streets. Yes, they risk their lives, but they do it for us. They do it for the people that are in a community that want their community to get better. They do it for people not to, like drugs, not to OD anymore. They're trying to get all these drugs off the streets. And let alone not just that, they're trying to get the traffickers, the drug lords, the traffickers that, the sex offenders, the predators, all of that. And I think undercover operations is a big part of the drug enforcement in the U.S. I think we do need more of them, and we do need people to fight with them to get these people off the streets. But thank you for listening. Did I hit every single point? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for listening. This is kind of what I want to do with my career. I want to go into the academy, and I want to go undercover. It's risky, I know. My parents don't really approve of it, but I want to help people. So, thank you.